Hello and welcome to another episode of Goa 365 Story Behind the Story. This is a continuing series of episodes which we are having on agriculture and people who are involved with agriculture. With us are Miguel Braganza, who is an agriculturist, very senior person. He's been in the agriculture department, he's been a teacher, mentor to a lot of people. And with him is Estela Pires, who is a agriculture graduate. However, she's got more into the marketing aspect, in the actual agriculture aspect. Stella, welcome to our show. Miguel, welcome to our show. Miguel, before we start off into the actual nitty-gritties and go into details, I would like you to introduce Stella to our audience.
Stella Pires is from Navili, did part of her early studies in Nagua Verna, and joined Agriculture College in Sulcorna in the third batch, that's 2017. She has graduated in this August 2021. But even before she graduated, she was an entrepreneur running her own business under the name of Casa de Vegetais. She has marketed, when she was in college, the honey that was produced by the entomology department there, marketing first home and family and then going beyond. She has grown microgreens and marketed, and she makes her own masks. Now that we are all under COVID pandemic, she makes masks and markets them. So she's quite versatile in that. Of late, she has also started marketing agricultural inputs like Panchagavya and vermicompost, which is made by her seniors, Priyanka Parab, now Naik, and her husband Vandit Naik. They produce this in Mole, and she's able to market that along with microbials, which are now available in Goa, only in very few places. So she's making it available in Salsette, where it was difficult to get. So she has been finding where there is demand for some things and where there is a possibility of creating a demand. And that's been her strength. Very rare in a Goan to have marketing strengths, and that is something that she can possibly build up. She's one of the few persons I mentor now whom I've never taught in my life. She has not been my student. Was recommended to me by Lisa, and whether Lisa or Priyanka or Vandit recommend it as good as I deciding it myself. That much is the level of confidence in them, and I'm sure that with Stella also that confidence will come as I get to know her better and see the work she does.
Thanks Miguel. Now, however good the product, if it does not reach to your audience or to the people who are going to buy it, or if the marketing is not good, the product is going to fail. You have to market, it's very important. And there are, as you said, that there are not too many people who are, marketing, at least they don't, because the best marketing, top marketing guys are mostly from out. You find all the ASN, most of them are from somewhere, because it's basically very hard work. Before we get into that, I want to know, how did that name come up, Casa de Vegetais?
It was like, there was lockdown and I was in my 7th semester. So after completing the 7th semester, it was the 8th one. So we could not go to college. So we had an option either to choose online or else go to college.
No, how did you get the name?
Yeah, it came like that. So I chose to do it online, so from home. Okay. So I started growing vegetables at home. Okay. So that's how the name came, as Casa de Vegetais. So house of vegetables.
Wow, interesting. Okay. How did, were you always into trying to convince people or buy, marketing people, they have something in them. Right from school days, were you always the peacemaker, the one, always now, okay, let's do this. How did that thing come up?
Yeah, I always took up leadership qualities. Okay, so I would tell my friends, okay, let's do this, let's do that. I give them ideas.
Right from beginning, from school?
Yeah, from school. But I never realized that I would do this today. So, yes.
Miguel, there are a lot of people with agriculture who are doing agriculture in Goa. But it's always been an issue, as you and me know. Marketing has always been an issue. So, what do you think? Is this, are these Estella type of people something that need to be nurtured, mentored, so that the produce can be sold, and then others see that, okay, we can make money out of agriculture, we can make money out of this, and then take it up. It's a vicious circle, I know, but without money you can't do anything, and without marketing your product and without selling it, so who can sell it? Mostly the people who are growing, very few people can actually. So what do you feel? Is this something that needs to be
It
pushed,
needs to be
mentored,
groomed actually.
groomed?
One is the people who tend to talk too much in class are very good either as RJs, DJs or as marketing people. We normally make them to shut down. I feel they should be encouraged.
Fair enough.
Talk as long as it's not a disturbance in the class. People asking questions, provoking more thought should be encouraged. This is one aspect. The other thing is the natural ability to volunteer and to lead. Like the first time I saw Stella was when Don Bosco's Panjim had Meteora 2018, and she was just in her second year, and she was helping in the costuming because they had theme costuming of the 1970s. Now people who come from other states don't even know what costumes were worn here during that time. So finding the type of dresses, the skirts, the pleated skirts, the box pleats and such things, and costuming the whole college team, which did very well in the fashion show, which did very well in many other spheres. Of course didn't have a music band and so lost points, but they managed even to get the title Miss Meteora 2018 for the college. So this is a person who volunteered. Now quite a junior, when the seniors were participating, was there helping in the costuming. And that perhaps the time also when Riza noticed her, that this girl has got some talent, she can help. And that has grown. A person who can market is good, and we very much needed in Goa. It is for that reason that I had proposed in the college that we have Earn While You Learn. It was done for 2 semesters and then it got changed, because it gives the person the ability to do the costing and to promote the product to see that it doesn't remain. Because when you make things like curds, when you make things like juice, you have to sell it. You can't keep it for long, especially when refrigeration is not easy to come by. And the students had begun to learn that. In her batch, I think just a little bit was done in their first semester, and then that was out. But it gives you an exposure. As I've said earlier also, the facts and such events which are held in the schools and colleges, I'm against that because it's profiteering for the institution, but it gives the students an opportunity to learn marketing.
Organize marketing.
How to convince someone who's not interested in having pani puri to have a pani puri. Okay, or someone who may not want to buy a mask, for them to buy a mask, or embroidered kerchief or something. You're marketing something that is not a felt need of the other person, making that person feel that it's a good buy. It's an ability that we need to learn. Also for marketing, people learn how to modulate their voice, make the whole idea interesting, and all these things. You learn and it becomes natural to you, and marketing becomes easy. I don't have to tell you about marketing. You have a large background in marketing yourself.
Yes.
And I think you appreciate that these small things help during your studies.
Absolutely. Actually, in fact, I want to go even one step further. I think in any of these colleges, especially now agro based, which don't have a very good sort of a base future, I feel that marketing is one subject that should be taught to everybody. So even if the person who is into agriculture doesn't want to do marketing himself or herself, that person is aware of what is needed. So then it can pick up professionals like Estella. Because see, ultimately, I repeat what I started with, however good your product may be, if you can't sell it, you're dead.
Yeah.
Before you start, you're dead. And however bad your product is, if you have a good marketing man, you can. You're right. I have a background in marketing, and some of the products is sold. I don't even want to think about them, but they were sold very successfully. It all depends on marketing. Now, tell me, do you feel that in agriculture, in this, you need marketing, or you think Goa is fine? It needs a lot of people like you who concentrated on marketing, who can sell.
Yes, it does need marketing, because it's like mostly people just grow just for home consumption, wherein like we buy, I'll speak in term like in part of the vegetables part, wherein we purchase so much of vegetable from other states. We grow at home, we have lands, but still no one does anything. So it's like if they grow, they only grow it for home consumption. Why not they use little more care, like plant protections, and why not they give their neighborhood, serve in the villages and all, and sell the product?
Absolutely, yes. But absolutely, and what happens is there, see, people, I feel they don't grow. Say for example, they have, say, let's go for easily calculable. They have 1,000 square meters. So for their home, they need maybe 300 square meters to grow. They'll only grow the 300, balance 700 remains, because what you'll do with it. So that's why marketing becomes important, right?
Yes.
But you feel there is scope for a lot of these people to get into marketing, for you to like many of you've been with your colleagues who are into hardcore agriculture. So you feel that if marketing, it becomes a success, if you can make money from agriculture, more people will come into it?
Yes, I feel. Yes,
what could be the roadmap? Like how you feel that can, I will go to Mingal after that, but how your idea? You've thought about it?
Yeah, so food is like the basic need for everyone.
Especially in the pandemic, we realized.
We realized like most of people, they rush to the grocery shops.
Correct.
So food is needed, and now I have seen like most of the youths and all going into agriculture. They have started their own kitchen gardening and all. So that's a very good thing, and I feel in future there will be something more better in agriculture. Agriculture will be way better.
And most Goans have land, but they don't know what to do with it. It's just lying fallow, right? Miguel?
I think one of the things is what Stella has done last Sunday, having a presentation of the organic products, convincing the people that these things work, and then being able to sell her products. I think tell the story of last Sunday.
Okay.
So last Sunday, sir texted me like 2 days before, and he said, "Stella, can you come to Marga and give a presentation?" I said, "Okay, sir, I'll come." And then the day arrived, and I gave a presentation, and I saw that people were all farmers over there who were present. Most of them were already growing. And then
wait. Farmers mean they had their own fields and or whatever land.
They
and
had
they were,
their own land.
It was, okay.
Yes,
okay.
they were already growing.
Okay.
So after the session got over, they started telling their problems, that that there was some disease for their plants, or there was some pest attack. So there I told them that you could use such organic products and control the pest, and they were very effective pest controlling measures. And that's how they got impressed, and as they wanted to save their crop, because after all that was their source of income. So then after the session, they purchased some of the products from me.
Okay. Now little narrow it down a little bit. So you feel that most of the issues of these farmers, our farmers, is pest control?
Can be.
Is it?
It is.
Means pests?
Pests are there, because in the last season, like last year, there was this watermelon ringworm, which was there, which had like devastated watermelon crops.
Okay.
So, and even coconuts. So there's this rhinoceros beetle which like destroys coconuts. So that is like our native crops sort of thing. So we depend on that. Our livelihood depend on those crops. So if there is pest attack, then we won't get anything. So pest management is a necessary thing.
It's a big issue here in Goa?
It is.
So basically what the farmers do? Use chemicals?
They preferably use chemicals. Now that they have small land, so maybe they cannot go for chemicals. So we have a better option, that is going for organic. So you can spray it on large areas as well as small land areas. Like you grow a small piece of land, you can grow organic. Whereas chemical, they have adverse effect later on the crops and as well as on the land. So
Yeah, Miguel, I think maybe you can elaborate on this little bit.
See, the issue is most of the agriculture officers who are there in Goa or the scientists who are there are like me. We have studied all chemical farming methods. If you say an insect, you know which pesticide to recommend to kill it.
But that is a chemical.
It is a chemical.
Inorganic.
Now, what was happening before when we studied, there was no Google, there was no internet. You did not know what else those chemicals did. We knew only what was told to us in class and what we read in the books. And all that tells you a very nice story. But when you Google for those chemicals, the company itself tells you that it can cause cancer, it can cause migraine, it can cause alteration of your genetic makeup. There is a whole lot of information available. Now the next problem comes is you know that this is bad, that you have to use something else. But that something else is not available in Goa. Then what you do? Then it goes back to the same thing of the chicken and the egg, so what should come first? But today what we said is, let us change this. When the agriculture college was set up, they were trained in organic agriculture. They had to study the theory of chemicals, but a lot of organic content was there in their course. So they are better off than even me because they have studied how organic works. Today they can market it. And thanks to Mahesh Patil and his enterprise, we have been able to get the organic materials in small packs, which are 100 rupees for 100 ml. It's expensive actually,
Compared to the-
because earlier you used to get 1 liter
400.
for 450, 500 rupees.
Okay.
So this is almost double the price.
Okay.
But the farmer can get it at an affordable package of 100 ml. One, it's less money to spend. Second, he does not have balance to keep. Otherwise, one liter packet.
Balance to keep? I didn't understand.
Here, see, if he uses 50 ml of something,
Okay.
and he has got 1 liter, 950 ml are going to be parked with him, and it may expire without being used.
Okay.
The second part is the farmers were not aware that these things work and they're effective. What happened in Verna, Pirni, Koirut in Verna, year before last, the watermelon was completely affected by ringworm. The outside, instead of being green or green and light green strips, was all white.
Yellow,
Yellow, white. They could not sell because it was looking horrible. They couldn't sell. Although the watermelon inside was same red and sweet.
Oh, nothing happened.
Nothing happened inside. On the skin was spilled out.
Okay, okay.
But it was looking like a boiled egg. So no one wanted to buy those. Farmers complained, they went to a department, they recommended all kinds of chemicals, they didn't work. Then the next
they tried them,
They
but they
tried, they tried chemicals, it
Okay.
didn't work.
Okay.
Then they go to the next thing, they want compensation. After 2 years, they have not got the compensation till today. Last year, we promoted the use of organic. Two of Stella's teachers, Rajan Shelke and Satish Patil, came to Verna, explained to the farmers how it works. We convinced BRD Desai to store it and Mahesh Patil to supply to BRD Desai. So farmers took that and used it, and they found they got about 90 to 95% control.
It worked.
It worked.
Okay.
Next year, they are not going to wait for compensation, they are not going to wait for the pest, they are going to use it as a preventive measure itself, because they have seen they have been able to save the crop. It's about 1,80,000 per hectare that they are going to get or lose. And they have to spend 200 rupees to control it.
Which is, I mean,
So it
makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Lot
The
of sense.
other very important thing about these organic microbials is this is fungus or something. If there is water on the plant, it grows. Chemical after 30 days is dead.
Dead.
This grows. So if you spray it in the month of June, it is there with you maybe till the month of April till it gets too hot and dry. And if there's a sprinkler system or something, the fungus will remain alive. So this has been more cost effective than chemicals, and it doesn't cause you any harm because this fungus doesn't adversely affect us. So they found, and 2 or 3 fungi can control the whole business. The other thing that they have is coconut tree, which is giving you coconuts, maybe 200 coconuts or 150 coconuts a year. And suddenly the beetle attacks it or the red palm weevil attacks it and the coconut tree is dead. It's a very severe loss. Now what they find is that can put just 10 ml of this fungus into a liter bottle of water and pour it into the crown, it controls it.
You have to go on top and put it.
Yes, when the person is going to pluck the coconut, just tell him to put it in the crown, in the pido, and there it grows, and it comes, each time the new leaf comes, the fungus comes along with it. It not only controls rhinoceros beetle and the red palm weevil, but also the ash white fly which is there on that. And because the fly is controlled, it also controls the sooty mold on it. If there is the red black-headed caterpillar, that also gets controlled. All insects get controlled by just one fungus, 10 ml, 10 rupees worth, and maybe you have to give 5 rupees more to the paderi to take that bottle up, because he's not going to do it for free. Otherwise he say, I'll only pluck the coconuts and come down. So when you tell him to take the bottle up, maybe you have to pay him 5 rupees more.
Worth it.
So 15 rupees is what you spend, and you save a coconut tree which may be worth to you over the next 25 years. About 50,000?
So basically, a lot of issues were always there earlier with organic and all, Estella, that it's expensive, it's expensive. Ultimately, what you all are telling me that it is not expensive, right?
It is much cheaper.
Cheaper.
Much cheaper. And in the long run, it is, it
It
can,
has no harms.
no harm to people. The land remains. Otherwise, chemical after so many years, like what's happening in Punjab and all, the land's destroyed, and then nitrogen, and then a lot of things. It's very, very, very interesting. But more interesting, I find is, see, if you want to do something and you rely on the government and company, it's not going to work. It's not. You're going to basically just live on that thing. So if this helps people not reach the stage where they need to go for that probably is the best thing that can possibly come out from there, right? Now I want to get into marketing of this. Now, is this one of the things that you feel need marketing into? See, selling the products is one thing, but even the lifestyle, the mindset change is, do you think that this also is an important thing that has to be marketed to people?
Yes, it is. It is very important to market such organic stuff because it has no harm to kids, nor people, nor the land, nor the plants. It has no harm to anything other than the pest and the diseases. So it is a need.
But is there, how much of this is happening in Goa?
As per my knowledge, I guess it is happening at a very less rate, but someday it will be more.
Someday by that time all the Goans will have sold their land and gone to France and England. So, Miguel, I think this is something that needs to be done, because see, ultimately first step in anything is the mindset. So if that to change, I don't know, especially in Goa is tough because people are so used to that, that rut and following the same comfort level, So, but do you think there is a chance, and how?
No, I think the revolution will come from these agriculture graduates who have come up in Goa itself, who know the Goa conditions and are willing to work hard. I'll give you a very simple example for comparison. In 2017, we had 500 clusters allotted to Goa under Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana to bring at least 5,000 farmers, maybe more, together to do organic. This work was given to 3 agencies from outside Goa. Most of them don't even speak Konkani. They only have meetings of this group, take down their names and details, Krishi card numbers, take a photograph with a banner, and they have collected 23 crores.
Wow.
But no farmer is producing organic that is coming in the market. We cannot find it after 23 crores. Whereas a person like Stella or Lisa or Priyanka and Vandit, they are already marketing these products. There are other agencies, of course, doing it. And Mahesh Patil is doing a great job. The Goa Bagadar is doing a good job. Perne Taluka and Satari Taluka farmers societies are doing a good job. And I feel these people are going to make the revolution. Trichoderma has been available with ICR.
What is trichoderma?
Trichoderma is one of the fungus which is used to control root-borne fungus problems.
Okay.
It has been available with ICR for the last 10 years.
But it's not...
no one knows about it. The agriculture department has distributed it free and the farmers have kept it with them. They have not used it.
There is no awareness.
Because they were not told how it is made.
Oh,
Now, persons like Stella and Lisa who are marketing, explaining to the farmers, even doing the garden with this microbials and showing them the effect, that is creating an impact, and that is going to go by word of mouth. Whereas all this structured thing which is going through the government is not making a difference. So we need to encourage this. I'll give you the simple example of Nestor Ranjas. He grew rice in Sanstevo and got it milled and marketed the rice. May not have made a huge profit, but created a system which was replicated in Kuttari by Santan Rodrigues. Now you can get Goan rice at 45 or 50 rupees a kilo in 5 kilo, 1 kilo, 10 kilo, 25 kilo packings. People know the difference. They have eaten this rice, they know the difference, they don't go back to polished rice. Although you can get in the society 3 rupees a kilo if you are having a BPL card, legal, illegal material, and 20 rupees a kilo if you are having a APL card. But people pay 50 rupees and buy this rice because they find you need to eat less rice per day. And if you're eating less rice per day, you have to exercise less to lose your weight.
Actually, but
So this requires marketing.
I agree. Yeah, this is my point. My point is, I know, like for example, during this COVID time when there was nothing available, a lot of people went and spoke to Nestor and all that. But the issue is that this is not marketed. This can become everyday rice of people. No, but not aware. And even these people who are growing, they are not professional marketers. Not professional at all.
Yeah.
So I can tell you. Because that's the way it is. So if actually something like this can be organized, and this is where you guys should come in. Had a nice discussion on organic, inorganic, and this. Yeah, thanks Stella for coming on our show. Thanks Miguel. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
keep watching Goa 365.